Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Basics of Physics. Myself Professor Ravikiran Latte welcome you all for the today's lecture. In our today's lecture we will be discussing multiple choice questions on the second module molecules of the course Physics of Atoms and Molecules, which is a part of MSc Physics program of Savitribai Phule Pune University. The questions which we'll be discussing in our today's session, these questions are important for the ongoing online examinations of the Savitribai Phule Pune University. Further, in addition to this, the questions which we'll be discussing in our today's session, some of these questions have already been appeared in our previous competitive exams such as CSR Net, GATE, and State Eligibility Test, which is conducted by the Savitribai Phule University as a state agency. So let us start with our today's session. First multiple choice question is rotational energy depends on. First option is mass of the molecule. Option B, shape of molecule. Option C, size of molecule. Option D, mass, shape and size of molecule. Now see, we know that in rotational energy levels or microwave spectroscopy, you have a rotation of a, if you consider the diatomic molecule, whose masses are, let us say, m1 and m2, which are separated by a distance of capital R, then its rotational energies for these rigid diatomic molecules are given by this formula Ej is equal to h cross upon 2i j into j plus 1. Now, where in this case I is nothing but it is the moment of inertia of these two objects whose masses are m1 and m2, and where mu is the reduced mass of the system, which is given by m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, and this is j is the quantum number which can take values from 0, 1, 2 and so on. This, if you consider the rotational energy levels, so it depends upon the value of I and value of j. Okay, so I itself depend upon the mass and r is nothing but the separation distance. Okay, so if you consider, so it this rotational energy levels which is given by the Ej, it depends upon the mass, it depends upon the size and shape because it's a moment of inertia. So you'll be requiring how this mass is distributed, so its shape and size will be mattered. So if you look at the option, so it is option number D, which is more appropriate for this case. So the rotational energy depends upon mass, shape and size of the molecule. Second question is, in rotational spectroscopy the intensity of spectral line depends upon the option number A, it is proportional to the population of rotational levels. Option B, it remains constant. Option C, always decreases whatever be the population. Option D, always increases whatever be the population. Now see, we had seen the intensity of spectral line in rotational spectroscopy. It depends upon the how many number of molecules are present in a given state. It depends upon the number of molecules in a given state, and this depends upon the Boltzmann factor and the degeneracy of each level, that is to the degeneracy of each level it is 2j plus 1. So if you consider that Maxwell Boltzmann factor and this degeneracy, then the population of a given state, it depends upon the this nj is the number of molecules in a given state j, and it will be given by n0 e to the power minus ej upon kt. So here in this case ej, just we had seen it's the energy which is given by this factor. So if you consider the intensity of a spectral lines, so it depends upon the total number of population of a given rotational level. So if you look at the option in this case, then it will be the option A which shows the correct answer for this question. So in rotational spectroscopy, the intensity of a spectral lines, it is proportional to the population of a rotational levels. Third question is, molecular spectroscopy is not useful for option A, structural investigation, option B, optical investigation, option C, energetically excited reaction, option D, all of these. Now see, we had seen in our earlier classes that if you consider the electromagnetic spectrum, it consists of gamma rays which are highly energetic, As compared to the gamma rays, X-rays are less energetic than ultraviolet rays are less energetic than the X-rays, and after that you have infrared, then radios, and so on. Okay, these are the different spectrums in a given electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, in case of with decreasing energy from gamma rays to the radios. Now with this different spectrum or different radiations, you have a different spectroscopies associated with that. If the spectroscopy is related to the molecules, which is given in our case, so if it is a molecular spectroscopy, then you have a IR spectroscopy, U visible spectroscopy, and Raman spectroscopy. Okay, in some extent you have a NMR spectroscopy, but which it has a some different origin, because there we are talking about the nuclear properties. Okay, so it's a kind of resonance spectroscopy. So basically, if you consider the molecular spectroscopy, it consists of these three regions, that is UV visible spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, and Raman spectroscopy. In this case, if you look at the option, it is a structural investigation, which is generally done by the X-ray spectroscopy or X-ray diffraction spectroscopy, which occurs in crystallography area, or optical investigations, that we call it as an electron microscopy, or it is a part of a microscopy technique. Okay, so if you look at these options, so it is all these options are there where molecular spectroscopy is not useful. So if you look at the options, it is the option D which shows the correct answer for this question. Question number 4. The range of electronic transition in electromagnetic spectrum is associated with option A, far infrared range, option B, visible range frequency, option C, microwave frequency, option D, radio frequency. Now if you look at the given question, it is the electronic transitions we are talking about in a electromagnetic spectrum. So if you look at the electronic transitions occurs mainly within this range. Within this range, the electronic transitions occurs, and if you look at this electronic transitions, the more pronounced region is, it is the visible frequency region. Okay, so if you look at the options, then it is the option number B, which is the most probable correct answer for this question. Next question is, in the rotational spectra of the rigid diatomic molecule, if the molecule jumps from J equal to 0 to J equal to 1, then energy will be. The options are given over here. Option A, scattered by the molecule. Option B, energy emitted by the molecule. Option C, energy may be absorbed or may be emitted. Option D, absorbed by the molecule. Now see, in our regular classes we had seen the rotational spectra of a rigid diatomic molecule. It has this kind of a pattern. You have a J equal to 0, that is the lowest most level, J equal to 1, that is the next level, J equal to 2, second excited level, J equal to 3, and so on. You have a different energy levels in a rotational spectra of a molecule. If the molecule is going from J equal to 0 to J equal to 1, that is molecule is going in a excited state. So whenever you need to transfer a molecule from lower energy level to the higher energy level, you need to provide the energy to the molecule. Okay, so that energy which is incident on the molecule, it will be absorbed. So it is the option number D, which is the appropriate option for this question. So in rotational spectra of rigid diatomic molecule, if the molecule jumps from J equal to 0 to J equal to 1 level, then energy will be absorbed by the molecule. Now next question is, in energy interval between the option A, vibrational energy level is greater than the rotational energy levels. Option B, vibrational energy levels is less than the rotational energy levels. Option C, vibrational energy levels is same as the rotational energy level. Option D, vibrational and rotational energies are interdependent. Now if you look, see, it's a vibrational spectroscopy or vibrational energy levels and rotational energy levels which are given for us. We know that vibrational energy levels means you have a energy associated with the vibration of a molecule. We had seen as a distance of a internuclear separation between the two atoms in a molecule, the variation of a vibrational energy levels, it is given in this fashion. Okay, and if you look at the energy scales, vibrational energy levels, these are of the order of 10 raised to minus 2 electron volt. And if you look at the rotational energy levels, which are in the microwave region, these energy levels are of the order of 10 raised to minus 5 electron volt. So you can say in this fashion that 10 raised to minus 2 means it is 0.01 electron volt, 10 raised to minus 5 means 0.0001 electron volt. So within two vibrational levels, you have a number of rotational levels. So if I'm saying that this is a one vibrational level, between these vibrations level you have a different number of rotational levels are there. So if you look at the option in this case, so then it is the option A, vibrational energy level is greater than the rotational energy levels, because obviously 10 raised to minus 2 electron volt is greater than the 10 raised to minus 5 electron volt. So it is the option A which is correct for this case. Next, seventh question is the highest frequency region in electromagnetic spectra is option A, radio waves, option B, microwaves, option C, gamma rays, option D, X-rays. Now we had seen in electromagnetic spectrum that as you move from uh, radio waves to the as you move from radio waves to the gamma rays, the energy increases in this fashion. So gamma rays, these are exactly they are extreme left in the electromagnetic spectrum, so they have the higher energy or higher frequency in this case. So highest frequency, if you look at the option, then it will be the gamma rays, which is the option C in the given case. So correct answer for this question is option number C. Eighth question is in the vibrational rotational spectra, the P and R branches are equally spaced lines with the separation of. Options are given over here 4B, 3B, 2B and B. Now we had seen in the vibrational rotational spectra, the energy level spectrum it will look like this. So you have a within a given vibrational state you have a different rotational energy levels. For example, for a first vibrational level that is corresponding to nu equal to 0, you have these different rotational levels are there. Different rotational levels are over here. So you can have the transition in between this one. So if you look at this, the transition rule for this one, the delta J can have value -1 for the P branch and delta J can have +1 value for a R branch. Okay, so notations, if you look at, then it will be the notations will be like this: O, P, Q, R and S corresponding to delta J equal to -2, -1, 0, +1, +2 respectively. So, and the center frequency that is nu naught, that is called as the origin or band center. So if you look at the option between the P and R branch, it has been asked. So it is the first P branch and that is the first R branch. If you consider the difference between the energy, it is given, which is nothing but the 4P. So answer for this question is the option number A. It is the correct answer for this question. In the vibrational rotational spectra, P and R branches are equally spaced with line separation of 4B. Next question is degree of freedom in linear molecule with n atoms is, the options are given over here. Now we know that what is degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom is nothing but the how many number of coordinates are required to specify the position of a molecule. So in general, if you talk about a molecule, linear molecule which has a n atom, it will require 3n coordinates. Okay, these are nothing but the 3n Cartesian coordinates we have, and this nothing but this forms a 3n degrees of freedom. But we know that this motion of molecule can be divided into three different parts, that is a rotational, vibrational and translational. So with each one have a degrees of freedom. So if you look at the translational motion, it has a 3 degrees of freedom. For rotation of a linear molecule, you will require a 2 degrees of freedom. So this 3 plus 2, it will be the 5 constant which you will be uh, ex, uh, putting on that molecule. So total number of degrees of freedom in that case it will reduce from 3n to 3n minus 5. So if you look at the option for a linear molecule, then it will have 3n minus 5 degrees of freedom. Now, next question here it is for the non-linear molecule. For non-linear molecule, how many degrees of freedom are there? So just we had seen for a linear molecule, we have a 2 degrees of freedom for rotation and 3 degrees of freedom, 3 degrees of constant for the translational motion. But for the non-linear molecule, it will be the non-linear molecule will have 3 degrees of confinement for the rotation. So these three and these three, if you look at the then total 6 constraint will be there. So it will reduce the degrees of freedom from 3n to 3n minus 6. So if you look at the option, then it is the option D which is the more appropriate answer in this case, option D. So non-linear molecule, it will have 3n minus 6 degrees of freedom. Next question is a vibrational spectrum lies in option A near X-ray region, near visible region, near infrared region, near ultraviolet region. Now it's a very straightforward question. All of us know that in vibrational spectroscopy, the radiations which we are talking about, that is nothing but the infrared radiations or near infrared radiations. So it is the option C which is the correct answer for this question. Means a vibrational spectrum lies near infrared region. Question number 12 is the rotational constant B is expressed in terms of or in units of option A 1 upon centimeter, option B centimeter, option C 1 upon kilogram, option D kilogram. We know that in rotational spectroscopy or microwave spectroscopy, the rotational energy of a molecules, these are given by this Ej is equal to h cross square upon 2i j into j plus 1, which can be further expressed in terms of this B, where this B is nothing but it is h upon 8 pi square ic. Okay, and this B, it is expressed in terms of per centimeter. If you substitute these values, you will get that is B in terms of per centimeter. So if you look at the option, then it is the option A which is the more appropriate answer for this question, because B is expressed in terms of per centimeter. 13th question is the potential energy curve in anharmonic model is represented by option A delta function, option B Gauss function, option C anharmonic function, option D Morse function. Now in anharmonic model we know that in addition to the harmonic motion you have a some non-harmonic part which we call it as an anharmonic model. So and this energy levels we have already calculated in our regular lectures. So this variation of the internuclear distance, this variation of this internuclear distance with the energy for an anharmonic model, that is nothing but it is known as the Morse curve. For so if you look at the option, then it is the option number D which is the correct answer for this question. 14th question is the rotational selection rule requires the transition with the difference in J is 1, option B 3, option C 0, option D 2. We know that for rotational energy levels, the selection rule is delta J is equal to 1. Okay, so if you look it into the option, then it is option A which represents the 1. So the correct answer for this question is the option number A. 15th question is total energy associated with the molecule is sum of option A electronic, rotational and vibrational energy, option B rotational and vibrational energy, option C rotational and irrotational energy, option D electronic and vibrational energy. Now we have studied Born open here approximation and Frank-Undernay principle. There we had studied that the total energy of the molecule is nothing but it is a sum of electronic energy, vibrational energy and the rotational energy. And if you look it into the option, it represents the option A which shows the total energy associated with the molecule is the sum of all these, that is option number A, rotational, vibrational and electronic energies. 16th question is for the pure rotational spectra, the molecule should have options are given below. The permanent electric quadrupole moment, option B permanent magnetic dipole moment, option C permanent electric dipole moment, option D permanent magnetic quadrupole moment. We had studied that a pure rotational spectrum can only arise when the molecule possesses a permanent electric dipole moment. If molecule has a permanent electric dipole moment, then and only then the molecule will give the pure rotational spectra. Means dipole moment will arise when the molecule will have uh, permanent charges on its constituent atoms. For example, in case of an hydrochloric acid, hydrogen it will be partially positively charged and the chlorine is partially negative charge due to the electronegativity difference, and due to that one you will get a pure rotational spectra. So if you look at the option, then under the permanent electric dipole moment it represents the option C. So the answer for this is the pure rotational spectra. The molecule should have permanent electric dipole moment. 17th question is, when an electric current is passed through a fluorescent lamp, then the glass tube emits option A microwave, option B UV radiation, option C radio waves, and option D visible light. Now we know the fluorescent lamp it will look like this. Fluorescent lamp we are using in our daily household applications, but you might be wondering that this fluorescent lamp which you are using in your daily house application, it emits a visible light. So you might take the answer D in this case, which will be the wrong option in this case. Why it is wrong? Let me just clear that. When an current is passed through such a fluorescent lamp, the atom emits ultraviolet photons. This atom emits ultraviolet photons, and then atom's electron reverts to the lower energy state or lower, more stable energy level. And most of these photons that are released from the atoms have wavelength in this region 253 to 185 nanometer, which constitutes a ultraviolet frequency. Now these radiations they are not visible to the human eye. So how we are getting the light from the fluorescent lamp which we are using in our house applications? So these ultraviolet radiations which are emitted from this fluorescent lamp, they are made visible by the phenomenon of fluorescence. For that purpose, the inner surface of the tube it is coated with the phosphor material, and difference in energy between the absorbed ultraviolet photon and the emitted visible light goes towards the heating of the phosphor coating. Okay, so that is the main principle behind this. So though this fluorescent lamp they are emitting the white light, but when the electric current is passed through this fluorescent lamp, it emits a ultraviolet radiation. So correct answer for this question is the option number B. 18th question is, the shape of the curve of the potential energy V versus the internuclear distance R is option A circle, option B ellipse, option C parabola, option D straight line. All of us know that the potential energy curve for a harmonic term I am talking about. So it is exactly it has a mathematical expression U is equal to 1 half kx square. If you plot this mathematical expression, you will get a parabolic curve. But due to some unharmonic term, in real you don't get an exact parabola, but it will be like this. So the shape of the curve of the potential energy versus the internuclear distance r is nothing but the approximate parabola it is there. Okay, so option C is the correct answer for this question. Now next 19th question is, if the energy states are separated in 1 electron volt to 10 electron volt, the spectra is option A pure rotational spectrum, option B rotational vibrational spectrum, option C electronic spectrum, option D rotational and vibrational spectrum. Now we had seen the electromagnetic spectrum. It consists of gamma rays, X rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared, visible rays, infrared, microwaves, and radio waves are there. So in this way, from gamma rays to the radio waves, the energy decreases, okay, or wavelength increases. Now, if you look at in the energy scale, from radio waves or from gamma rays, the energy from uh, from radio waves to the gamma rays, the energy increases. from 10 raised to minus 31 electron volt to the mega electron volt. In this case, energy it is given, it is of the order of few electron volt. So it is 1 electron volt to 10 electron volt. So if you look at 1 electron volt, it comes in the visible range, and 10 electron volt, it comes in the ultraviolet region. So in the ultraviolet and visible region, if you look at the diagram, so this is the region I'm talking about. This is the region I'm talking about where we are interested, and this ultraviolet and visible, it constitutes nothing but the valence electron transition. So that is nothing but the electronic spectrum we are talking about. Okay, so if you look at the option, if the energy is in between the 1 electron volt to the 10 electron volt, then it is the electronic spectrum. So it is the option number C, which is the correct answer for this question. 20th question is identification of minerals and biochemical compounds can be done by phosphorus, fluorescence, resonance, and restorance. Both We know that both fluorescence and phosphorus are based on the ability of substance to absorb light and emit light for of a longer wavelength, means lower energy. And this fluorescence, it is basically, it is an immediate effect. Therefore, generally only visible light, if the light sources continuously falls on the material, you will be getting the radiations or light is emitted. And while the phosphorus material can store the light for some amount of time, and then it can release after some time, resulting in a afterglow that persists after light has been switched off. So this phenomena actually used in uh, the phenomenon of fluorescence. It is used in the identification of the minerals and biochemical compounds. So it is the option B, which is the correct answer for this question. Next question is, according to the Frank-Condon principle, the intensity of a vibrational peak in an electronically allowed transition is proportional to option A, the linear overlap integral of vibrational wave function of the initial and final state. Option B, the absolute square of the overlap integral of the vibrational wave function of all the states. Option C, the linear overlap integral of the vibrational wave function of all the states. Option D, the absolute square of the overlap integral of the vibrational wave function of the initial and final state. So the correct answer for this question is the option number D, because according to the Frank-Condon principle, the intensity of the vibrational peak in an electronically allowed transition, it is proportional to the square of the overlap integral of the vibrational wave function of initial and the final state. Next question 22. Dissociation energies are related to heat of formation. That is correct option. Option B, heat absorbed or evolved during the reaction. That is also correct. Option C, rate of reaction. Uh, Option D, all of these. So all these options which are given over here. So all of us, we have studied that dissociation energies are related with the heat of formation, heat absorbed or evolved during the reaction, and rate of reaction. So the correct answer for this question, it is the all these options are correct. So option D is the correct answer for this question. Next question is, the vibrational core structure is related to absorption or emission of electromagnetic radiation in visible and ultraviolet due to transition between electronic energy levels of molecules. Option B, reflection of electromagnetic radiation in visible and ultraviolet due to transition between electronic energy level of a molecule. Option C, scattering of electromagnetic radiation in visible and ultraviolet due to the transition between electronic energy levels of molecules. Option D, only transitions of electromagnetic radiations in visible and ultraviolet due to transition between electronic energy levels of molecules. All of us studied it in the second module that vibrational core structure, it is related with the absorption and emission of electromagnetic radiation in visible and ultraviolet region due to the transition between the electronic energy levels of the molecules. So it is the option A which is the more appropriate in this case. Next question, that is the last question for this session. It is the magnitude of the total electronic angular momentum in a diatomic molecule is quantized. Option B, it is not quantized. Option C, same like monoatomic cases. Option D, 0. And the answer for this question is the option number B, because for a diatomic molecule, orbital total angular electronic angular momentum, it is not quantized. The more detail of about this, why it is not quantized, it is given on this website. You can visit for this question. Okay, that's it for the today's session. I feel you people have enjoyed the today's session and you are preparing well for your examination. And for any doubts, you can comment me in the comment section of this video. I request all you people to please hit the like button. If you are not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe the channel Basics of Physics by Professor Ravikiran Latte. That's it for the today's session. We'll stop here for today's lecture. Thank you.